I'm live. I am live. So I'll start to see what's going on here. Let's see. A live call. Okay, there's not very many people on yet. And I totally understand. I totally understand that there's not a lot of people on for this live right now. I'm super glad that you are seeing me if you're here. This is for sure a last minute impromptu live on YouTube, 1,000,000,000% last second. Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness, so happy to see you. Today we were having the most intense rush around with Mercury retrograde interrupting the monthly call that I do for our membership, which is called Light the Way. And as I see you all joining, I'm so happy. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for connecting, finding me. So we're going to be doing a bit of a live. It's still going to be the same, but anybody can join. And I guess this is the way that we expand, right, in the moment. So let's see if more people will find their way to us. We did send out an email for the people who were trying to get into the Light the Way call today at 1:00 Pacific time. If they couldn't get on, they now have an email in their box. Some of you might have gotten that. So this is just so last minute, but I felt like I didn't want to just let the day go by without doing the transmission that was going to come through today. So I'm hoping that the people who are usually on the Light the Way call on the first Wednesday of the month will make it to here now. So for those of you who are here, if you want to say hello, let's see if I don't know how to do that. There we are. Suzanne, thank you. You're here. Hi, Northern Lights. I know you. Oh my goodness. There's so many of you letting me know you're here. So those of you who are just joining us, thank you for finding me right now. So I know that this is a kind of an impromptu thing. So we'll see how it goes, really and truly. You were late, so you're so excited. Okay, yes, thank you. Now, I know that there are a number of people who, are probably still trying to figure out how to get onto our other webinar, which for some reason just did not work, and it was so frustrating. I want to get started into what I'm here to do today and talk about today, but I also want those people to find us. So those people need to look at their email, and I don't know if they're finding it. So maybe that needs to be sent out again. Some people aren't checking their emails. Okay, well, let me think here. How am I going to do this? Wow, hello, another you, and other you, yay. I hope some of our other friends come on, and this just makes me happy that we're doing something wild and different today. This is exciting. I haven't been on my YouTube channel in a very long time. Sometimes it feels like a little guilt because I haven't been here and I have not been doing any of my videos and posting. So I guess this is my re-entry when Mercury retrograde pushed me out of my comfort zone and said, that's not going to work. You got to do something different. And here we are. So for those of you who are here and who made it, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello, Blue Octopus. Hello, you. So everyone who is here, for the most part, the people who will come on will either happen to see us on YouTube right now live and just join to see what's happening, what the conversation is, or the other people who were trying to get onto the webinar for the monthly call that we do are getting an email, and they're going to join because they're going to get that email and say, it says, go to this link because we're going to do it live on YouTube. So this, like I said, one more time, it's a total impromptu. I am going to just sort of dive in and start like I would have started for our live monthly call, which is called Light the Way. And you can join that. We do it every month, first Wednesday of the month. It's a membership. We get to know each other. It's a really wonderful connection. It's a real, a deepening with me and a community of light, wonderful light people, humans and light beings around this world. And it's really awesome to feel that connection live every month and continuously. So for those of you who want to join us, you can. But for now, for this call, we're going to talk. We're going to talk, and I'm going to do some of the channelings that I do normally on this Light the Way call. Today's call I could feel was going to be really, really different. Now, what's interesting about that is that since this is being held in a different way, the energy is now like different, right? Usually we're in a container. The general people know each other. They start to know each other month after month after month, year after year, which I have been doing the Light the Way monthly immersion call membership for, I think we're going on over 5 years. So people come and go. And yet today we're gonna do that here in a more public community way, where more people are going to get to be here, get to hear me, get to see me. Some of you maybe for the first time live like this, I'm not sure. And for those of you who are on our monthly Light the Way call, I hope this serves you, because I just really didn't want to like reschedule. I wanted us to have this energy today, because this morning I got up early and I was meditating and I was sort of receiving the downloads of the codes with the sun. And I was in my own process, as I do in order to anchor in the support and the connection the way that I do as a clairvoyant, clairaudient channeler, being of light, human being. And so the theme is sometimes, well, generally what we do is the first Wednesday of every month, so that we can energetically set the tone, connect with Osira, connect with the divine feminine, connect with the teachings and the wisdom that they offer. But also I offer through my own lived experience a lot of what is being picked up in the field all the time by me, because this is literally how I'm wired. And so when I was in that process this morning, oh my goodness, when I was walking my dog this morning and I was getting ready for this call, right? June's energies, the fact that 2021 has been what it is what it is, and is going through and going to continue to go through what we are on this planet, which is massively evolving. We are in the evolution because we are the evolution. And when I was walking my dog, I was like, whoa, I heard Osira like guiding me and talking with me, that it's like, it's this powerful synastry, this, it's a symbiotic relationship I have with them, where I can feel them all around me and guiding, and they are not separate from me and I am not separate from them, but it sure does look like that. It sure does feel like that. And yet at the same time, I don't take credit for I am that, but they're influencing this field that I am living here too. And one of the things that they were sharing with me as I was walking, I know this sounds totally wacky, but I was getting that today there was going to be a little bit more instruction. And that's not the right word that I want to exactly say, but it feels a little bit like that. A little bit of instruction, a little bit of guidance, teaching, and whatever that they usually do, which is powerful. But there is a activation that I feel is part of today's conversation that you're going to be able to take with you, that you're going to be able to do, like they're teaching you a thing to do. And it has to do with the sun. It has to do with light. It has to do with our acceleration in consciousness, because we already are consciousness. We are that. And there is no thing to chase. That was the other thing. I had a very clear recognition that there's nothing to chase to get. We already are the consciousness we seem to be thinking that we've got to get to. Most people are, a lot of us are on the path, and we're deep diving, and we're digging, and we're clearing, and we're awakening, and we're doing the works, and we're trying to learn and evolve and grow and shed and release the stuff that we are not. But really, it's by way of releasing what we are not, by recognizing that we already are it. We're already the thing. So the more we come to accept, we shed what we are not. And then we reveal to ourselves more of what we actually are, who and how we are. We have stronger alignments to the purposefulness of our life, and being of service, not for the seeking of self, because it's not the way. The way is to open ourselves up to remembering the truth of our being and the light of our being. And at this time, no matter where we are on the planet, we can get light if we look towards the sun, especially in the morning and the evening. And lately, that's been a real practice for me. Well, it always is, because I do know this to be a real helpful way to expand. And so I'm hoping that this is, matching up with where you might be and what you can do for your own consciousness, expansion, acceleration, ways of being in your life. And that's simply to allow the light stream to influence your mitochondria, to influence your skin, to take in the vitamin D, to receive wider consciousness, basically, is it. And so, as my channel is about me, my life, my path, my walk, and how that translates into teachings with Osira, with the Divine Feminine, because really we are informing each other. We are the mirrors for each other. The more I set myself free, the more you see, the more people set themselves free, the more that I see that we are all the reflection of each other. And so, it can go pretty deep, but the work is for our own individual journey. And then the more we incorporate that authentically, the more we expand that authentically, we step into the power of being it in our own lives. And that's not always for show, right? Even though we're here teaching and guiding and helping and willingly being of service to people, places, and situations as much as we can, those of us on a path such as that, we also are doing it for the awakening which is in ourself. And our self is out there. So anything that I am plugging into that feels heavy when I'm shifting, we are in a massive, massive change for and with each other. And this is quite a long journey. This is not going to happen in the next couple of years or a couple months. This is in a massive evolution of consciousness to realize we are literally the living light on this planet, and we are changing everything. So many of you are aware that we have just we're in a very specific portal of time. We're in a eclipse portal from May 26th. We just had this full moon total lunar eclipse on May 26th. And now we're also going to have next week on the 10th of June, we're going to have a new moon total solar eclipse. So we're right in the middle of an unwinding and an undoing. We are in the midst of endings and beginnings and endings and beginnings, beginning and endings. And I bet if you looked around your life, you're having some of those too. The world sure is. I know I absolutely am. I know lots of people are. And that it's par for the course. It's what we're here to do. It's what we're here to go through. Last month in our Light the Way call, one of the themes was sort of about whether or not we are in faith. Oh, no, sorry. Maybe that was it. I think that's also to do with now, but trusting the process rather than running from it or resisting the process of what we're all in collectively. And the more we allow ourselves to stand and embrace what is, it's not the most comfortable. I'm having my own serious uncomfortability with various parts of my own shifts and changes that I know ultimately are going to be really good and are for me, and that I am co-creating. I'm pretty much creating the creation of all the things that are expanding my life. When I take full ownership of that, when I take full and total responsibility, and I get into the authenticity of my own choosings of life, the more I do that, the more I set myself free, the more the resistance begins to fall away, and the expansion, the miracles, the blessings, the good things, the fun times, the alignments of ease and peace can come into me. And that's no matter what is occurring, because I've gone through really hard things just like everybody on this planet. And what our egos tend to do is to compare the things about what I'm going through, or he's going through, or she's going through, or they're going through is so much worse than what I'm going through. And I totally get that on the human level, and I totally get that on the physical body level. At the same time, we can transcend things in a totally different way. That the more we see that these things that are happening outside of us, however we see them, we can work with them, we can transmute them inside of ourselves. It's almost like knowing that the external world is an extension of us. So one of the things that Osiris taught for all of these years is how we are the evolution of consciousness. That means that we're not separate. We're the expression of light, understanding, and love, understanding itself through a single point of this consciousness called grace. And all the ways that I'm here to be the focal point of that. It's similar to the idea of the rays of the sun or the rays of a star. Those rays still are the star. And it's the consciousness of the star experience. It's expanding outside of itself. It is that. And so in a certain sense, our healing is the world's healing, and the world's healing is our healing, right? Because we are not separate. And once we really get that, we begin to soften and open up in our hearts in a very, very different way. Now, I'm not saying something here that's brand new. I'm just saying it in a way today that maybe it's going to activate something in you. Maybe it'll help or assist something in you. But when I was tuning in this morning with Osira and the energies for June, I think everyone is feeling overall, this is my summary, I can't speak for every human being, but so many of us are feeling the shifts and changes of the world every day. We can feel them because we're all part of it. We are the collective consciousness of the field of creation that is happening as us. And so we're plugging into the fullness of that. Osira was, and they are so wise and wonderful. And I love them so much. And they were really kind of reminding me today that it's going to sound a little cheesy, but they really were reminding me that love is the way. And it's cheesy on a level of how we don't understand what love is in a certain sense. And the heart is the it's the it's the bridge. It's the way through to a greater consciousness expanding through us. It is the way. The heart is the way to love. And it sounds a little cheesy, but it takes a lot of real work to consciousness to clear out what is in the way of all of that, what blocks us, how many layers of blocks, how many layers of resentments, how many layers of unwillingnesses that we have that hold us back. And those can be holding us back from people, that can be holding us back from the love that we would freely give, that could be holding us back from doing adventures or leaping in directions because we're having the fear hold back the love that ignites the forward motion of purposefulness. So universal love becomes us when the heart expands, when the bridge between the lower energies, they open, these open in our consciousness. We are a pillar of light. That was what they were like. They always say that, but we are these pillars and anchors of light on the planet. We are consciousness. We are not just these meat suits. We are not just these trillions of amazing cells that do what they do when we don't even have to think about what they do. We're not that. We are the living light of that. And that itself is the consciousness of the allness experiencing itself single-pointedly, directly here and as me, as this one, in total connection with the field. What it reminded me of this morning is this experience that I've had so many really wild cosmic experiences, and some of them I've shared on my channel, some of them I've shared in person and in my groups and in different ways. But it reminded me of how I've had these experiences where I can feel my higher self, and I don't even like to call it my higher self. I can feel another part of me in consciousness in another actual reality. And it happened to me this week. I was having a deep conversation with my partner, and I all of a sudden got really pulled into a future timeline, and I could feel myself actually in another reality. And I had to stop, and I spoke about it, and I talked to him about it, and I was telling him about it. And I was like, I'm like feeling it. I know I'm here, but I'm completely like, there was a cord completely connected to a future timeline of a reality of me living in another place and space. And I was not sure if he was there or if it was someone else. And it was just really an interesting moment. I've had those years and years and years ago, and they would converge into where I couldn't, how do I say that? I couldn't differentiate. It was too overlaid. So it caused too much distortion, and I couldn't see and feel and connect to it. I've gotten better at those field jumps, kind of, where I can see and feel and connect to another part of me. I'm living consciousness part in what I would call the future. And I was like, whoa, so I just need to keep going on where I'm at, because that brings me to there. Ultimately, whether or not that's in this life or it's in a totally different physical life embodiment. I wasn't interested in those details, but what I was interested in was understanding that the multidimensional aspect of my being is right here, right now. I don't have to try to get better at it. Now, if you don't see like I see, that doesn't mean you don't have these abilities. Activating these kinds of ways of understanding ourselves completely points us in a new direction with our journey. The more we open, the more we're willing to activate our consciousness, the more that we're willing to sit in meditation and the more that we're willing to go through the uncomfortable places, the more that we actually begin to know ourselves more. And as we begin to know ourselves more, we begin to see there is no self, and the activity of of understanding that we're not really the self the way we think we are. We are the complete and total I presence. The pillar of light is the I am presence of all that is. And so the more that we plug into that, the more that we activate it in this perception ability. So the reason why I say these things is because there's a new energy. We are on an acceleration road. Right now, we are on the fast track. We just hit the low gear and we are taking off into a shift in consciousness. It's definitely going to happen through, and it is happening through what we would call right now the portal of the solar eclipse time right now at the beginning of June. But if we also go, there's another eclipse time. I think is it October or December? I can't quite remember right now. And so we are like leveling up. And so the more that you can activate that, the more that you can plug into that, the more that we can open to that, the more that we will feel the effects of understanding it in a way where, and sometimes there's not even a necessary conversation about it. It's just you be it, right? And so I think that is a part of what they're going to be sharing today. So I wanted to offer my own living experience with how our future self is connected to this beingness that we are. And this beingness that we are is anchoring this transition of consciousness for the totality of humanity, for the earth herself, for for so much that we're going to be experiencing. And, I see the intensity of the shifts, and I see the intensity of the way that the polarities, we learn through polarities, right? So, I've swung low and I've swung high. I'm sure you have too. We learn through the things that awaken us at deeper levels. And sometimes we choose for the lower polarities of change. And so when Osira has been teaching for so long about how it is to release judgment, the judgment is what keeps us attached to those swings. The more we stand in just the ease of knowing that this is perfection, that this is grace, that this is the divine happening, that we've been here before, however many times, and we're doing this to evolve in consciousness. That is liberation. That is the exciting journey. That is the adventure. And I'm hoping that will translate, that activates something in you today. So thank you for hanging in there right now with me. And thank you for joining. For everyone who's here happens to be live. And for those of you who have come over from the Light the Way, I think it's a great time to just jump in to the deep end of the pool with Osira and see what their channeling is going to offer us today, live and in person with everyone here. It's just so exciting. I haven't done a live. First of all, I haven't done a live. I don't think I've ever done a live on YouTube in all of these years that I have been doing sessions. I just want you to know that I am not a big marketer and promoter. I have been doing channeling for 14 years now. Wait, we're 2021. And for those of you who know my story, it's been a long road, really. And I still do channelings. I still do mentorship. I have been very busy throughout the entire last many years. I still have been. I've got a lot of change coming up in my personal life, and it's so exciting. And I also have so much change coming up in the work that I'm here to do, because the work that I'm here to do is now fully activated into my future for the next 25 years. And, I've got so much coming. It's so exciting. It's almost like I feel like, oh my God, how can we just get it all here? But It's going to take what it does on this planet, which is the collaboration and co-creation of spirit into matter to create the activity of the next level of what I literally was born for. So if you are like me and you relate to that part of what's coming, you'll be excited. You'll be excited for what we're going through. I know it's hard, man. Listen, I have really hard days. I have days where I am just doubting everything. But at the same time, there are so many souls on this planet, so many souls who have come here to awaken and to choose that road that I'm talking about, to choose that road, to anchor light, to remember that love is the way. Love is the way. Consciousness as us is the way. And we're anchoring that and we're becoming changed and we're changing the world because of it. Don't let the false ideas of fear-based old systems influence you to tell you that that's not what's happening, because I have seen the future. And yes, we all live and die. And yes, people are still going through hard things. And yes, Earth is not an easy place. And yes, Earth has a long way to go, and there's going to be many, 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 many generations of beings who are going to continue to come to this planet to continue to awaken on their own soul's journey. That's what we're doing. But we are shifting gears, and it is time. And so if you feel that in your heart and your soul, but you're easily influenced by the outside push to keep your light small or to keep you down, it's time to shift and put your attention on the things that activate you. Put your attention on the things that liberate you. Put your attention and your practices and your daily life into the opening of who and what you're really here for. So right now, as we usually do, and remember, this is a little different. I'm going to just go right into a channeling, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to pull a couple cards to hold the space of everything that Osira has said. Hi, everybody. I see all of you. I see you. I see you. I see you. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm hoping that you'll stay for the whole thing, because it's not just the activation. You know, a lot of people will say, oh, I don't want to listen to Grace. I just want to listen to the channeling. I get it. I don't have any hurt feelings about that. But I also know that there is, like I said before, there's a complete synergy. So what I often will be talking about in the beginning is often totally backed up with Osira, and it's linked. And so there's a building here. I guess I would say building. There's a molding, and it's an activity. It's an activation. And so we will now see what Osira has to share and say with you all for the month of June. Okay, so I'm going to step away and do the thing that I do, as you know, or some of you know, maybe some of you have never seen me, but here it goes. Okay. I'm gonna yawn. For the month of June, for all of our friends and souls who are attracted and connected at this time. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Indeed, greetings to you, dear ones. We are that one known as Osira, and we are, in fact, as always, overjoyed to be in this alignment with you. We are indeed recognizing the way in which our beloved channel has anchored and begun the conversation. We are recognizing the way in which this has been the most auspicious alignment of souls. And we say that because there is a very direct connection in this moment to the actions that all beings who are participating in this moment live, as you would say, are receiving. The transmission, the way in which the activity will move through your consciousness, the ways in which this is being offered is what we would say an accelerator in consciousness. We are wanting to plug in with those of you whose highlights within are calling yourself to the next level, your own devotions, if you will, to the next level of humanity, your own devotions to your own level of the ways in which you operate in the world, the ways in which you articulate, the ways in which you accelerate and offer to others, the ways in which that will assist the way you feel more in tune with the harmonics and the literal neutrino streams that are coming to your planet. This is the way in which the light is moving about your field of consciousness. It is the way in which the field is then connecting to the cellular bodies of the beings on this planet. Some of the people who will be activated won't even be in recognition that they are fully activating at a new level. The reason we want to come forward this day to say these things, to be participations, is because we want to do it a little differently. We are wanting to assist in a way that will move energy like a superconductor through the consciousness of beings at this time on your planet. There is a great outpouring of the next level rising from the hearts of human beings, from the soul agreement of human beings. And you are all moving yourself into a new consideration. No, the word, not consideration. Let us back up. You are all moving yourself into the next level of your own contemplations on how it is to expand into and through yourself. Here's what we want to do in this moment. We are wanting to reach you at a new level. We are wanting to literally do the sometimes more challenging frequency, which is to drop our own energy, the 12 of us beaming through and to and with our beloved channel, slow it down a whole lot to be able to be received in this moment by your own heart beam. Here's why. Because the activity of the heart, the way in which the neutrinos are meeting your consciousness, can facilitate the next level of your own opening to a higher level of living. How is this higher level of living? This higher level of living comes from and is love. The reason we had ignited, you could say, these things within her today, in particular, the way that the conversation began, is because this is what is needed. To hold a frequency of love, dear ones, we are wanting to really make this clear. This is not something we talk about every single day. This is not something that we meet our human friends with at each conversation or in the groups. We don't always just dive into what it is to be about love and hold and anchor the light of love. But we see that that is what is vital now. We are real in this conversation to actually say to you that the more you see the divisions in the world, the more you see the fear factors in the world, the more that you see the ways in which people seem to be fighting or creating the separation. We want to have you see it like this. You are going through a monumental change that we have been talking about for the last 10 years. We have been guiding our human friends all over this planetary system to remind you that you were coming to here. And here you are. You are here at this time because your own particular soul's alignment said, this is the greatest show on the planetary alignments for me, for this one that I am to be a part of the evolutionary change in human consciousness. This is the word, we know it is overused, but we'll say this is a quantum shift in your awareness at this time. This walk to here, many of you have been changing. You do not recognize yourself from 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago. You are not the same beings. And so in the same way that that is true, we would like for you to see that you can even evolve and grow your consciousness more. The one thing we want to pinpoint at this time, and we are slowing our conversation down because we know that we can at times talk, as our beloved says, a million miles a minute. What we want to do is we want to land those very particular light key codes into your field. We are wanting you to sprout that little sprout that sprout so that the flower really grows strong and blooms, so that you really understand you are the seeds of life at this time on this planet, and you are the light seeds of love on this planet at this time. This is being tested. You are being pushed into visionary states. We see that. We recognize the ways in which you can isolate yourself from others. Here's what we want to offer about that. The more you recognize that there is no other, the more you can accept that, yes, people are making their individuated choices, but that in and of itself is the soul's journey, that is the part of the whole, that what you do see outside of yourself is in part what is happening in here as well. And that it looks as if all of the closet doors have been opened in the last year or so, you would say. All of the closet doors are open, and every dark one thing that seemed to be hiding is now out front and center, or at least the light is shining on. The ones that seems as if you could call them the demons of the world are all out and about. And we are making light of this. We are not wanting you to take this, literal. We're just using that as the analogy, as if those demons that were seeming to be sequestered down in the basement or in the closets hiding, they were always there, but now it seems as if they're all right here. And they're in the forefront. There is no separation from all that is. This is what we're wanting you to see. You all feel the ways that you see in the world. You all experience them until you start to really, 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 really radically unwind them. And radical unwinding means radical responsibility, taking into oneself the truth of your own nature, the truth of how you could be any one of those versions given the right circumstance. Creates the ease, the peace, and the understanding of the oneness of the totality that is happening here. And so what we are here to shift with you in is how you make that stand for yourself in a way where you begin to see that there is no harm that can come unto me, because this is a divine design, that there is only really the divine design that has brought me here in the first place, the me that I think I am. And what we come forward to remind you of is that you are playing with the entirety of the field. You are playing with the beings around you. You are playing with the earth grid around you. You are playing with the sun, moon, and stars. You are playing with the weather. You are playing with the ways in which you are it all. This is difficult for some of our human friends. But the more that you work with that idea, or the more that you let that settle in, or the more that you meditate on that, or the more that you walk in nature and you look at it all, and you begin to awaken, and in dreaming, and then awakening within the dream, you begin to realize, I am not separate from any of this. I am this totality. The I am is here now in its greatest evolution, and I too am that, because there is no two, there is only this one. And this one creation that is activating is the activity of light as love, love as light, made manifest into the physical world of what you are experiencing, which is really and truly what we will tell you from even our standpoint, how we are moving through our physical beloved channel's physical body. We are saying to you, we are in a different dimension of consciousness, activating in totality through and to language, sounds and words that activate something within your consciousness that settles into the key codes that made you remember why you were here in the first place. You didn't just come here, happen to in this moment. That's why we so orchestrated it so beautifully for so many to come into this moment. You didn't just happen into this moment. The corrections, the guidance, the alignments, the activations have brought you here in this moment to wholly remind you that there is only wholeness here, that this oneness as you are, this is all that is. And so you are transcending at this time a greater level of consciousness. We are not discounting, and we will always remind you that we do understand, what it is to be human on your planet, what it is to feel great loss in your heart, what it is to then stay open in your heart when great loss has occurred. Instead of closing up, becoming resentful, pointing fingers, and annihilating the rest of all that is, because the pain of what you had to experience became something too great that you became closed instead of open to the light stream of love. Because that is what creation is in of itself. We have always said, and we will always remind you that creation itself is literally the imagination, which is really actually frequency, sound, light, activated into creating a world. You are that. This goes on to so many different levels of consciousness, but you're playing a part in this time-space continuum that you are recognizing as yours. And so what we are reminding you of is to hold into that there is a divine grace occurring here, that this is beyond your, how should we say that word? Making it malleable, making it happen, doing the things. You will do the things, but we want to remind you, doing the things in the world is most of the time a great distraction. Yes, we know that many of you chase money. Yes, we know that many of you chase fame. Yes, we know that many of you chase the ways in which you think you will find security, pleasure, love, accolades, the ways in which the world can gratify. And we want to remind you that when it all boils down to the last moments of your most precious gift of all, the most precious gift of all is the light of consciousness that moves through you as you, and the breath that makes that possible. When that is on its last moments, you will then realize that the only thing that has and does matter is your activity of love with yourself, with awakening to the one that you are, to knowing that there is no separation, that this totality of reality is a creation of your own making, that you have done all the things on this planetary walk to activate your higher mind, your higher love, your higher consciousness. And when you sit into your soul, you sit into your heart, you sit into the bridge that awakens the potentials of all of that activating through, and as the channel of light that occurs here on this planet. You are more than what you believe. The majority of the time, you are a living mind body. And what we want to say is we want to bring you into your living heart body. That does not mean you don't have boundaries. That doesn't mean you don't do your works in the world. It doesn't mean you selflessly surrender and you become a doormat. What we're saying is you activate in your higher light mind and your heart, and you remember you are here serving the totality of the oneness. And that begins here within. That begins then when it transitions to the world around you. Some people go, well, I need to do it out there to have it come into here. And we say that's a kind of way, but we will remind you too that the love of being with yourself is one of the most primary things. Why? Because it helps you to understand the truth of your being. It helps you to understand the authenticity of yourself. And if you can authentically know yourself at every corner, in every dark part, if you can excavate every part of yourself and unwind those things that have held you down and held you back, and you become free and easy and light-filled, you will know yourself that much more, and the world will see you, and you will illuminate the world. It works like that. You are mirroring by bridging the realities of experience through an as you. So when we remind you of these things, we are activating them at the same time from where we stand in the dimensional frequencies of that which we are participating, particularly this day. We would say to you that we too understand how it is to be on the physical plane of existence, but also having stepped out of that to see through the veils of illusion. This samsara that you begin to play with then becomes your perfect tapestry for growth. You understand that you are making every stitch. You are not the victim of your circumstances. No, we know that is a very tough one. We know that our human friends sometimes will come riling back with an answer about that or a question about that. But how could that be true, Osira? We say to you, in your heart of hearts, the truth of the truth comes back around. When growth of the soul becomes you, and when soul growth becomes you, you really know there is no other alternative than to dig deeply here within. That this here within is your freedom and liberation. That there is no thing outside of you that can hold the truth of you back. But it takes a brave heart and a brave soul to know who they are. And a true-hearted, brave soul doesn't always go outside of themselves looking for that to be acknowledged. So you see, that is why when truth resonates, truth resonates. That is why when you can see through the illusion with another person at times, when they are putting on the front of being something that they are not, but they're putting it on in order to know if that's what they could be. Some of you may know and acknowledge that you too have done that. And we say to you, by your acknowledgement that I too have done that, you begin to let it fall away and you step more into your own authenticity. You step into more of your own activation. You step into more of your own awareness of being the allness. And this is it. You do not have to seek for something. You already are what is. You already are that thing you think you have to get to. There is no amount of success. There is no amount of money. There is no amount of accolades to save the world, to be the one, to do the thing. It does not exist. But what does is the light of the world, the truth of your heart, the beaming freedom that would come unto you to realize you are literally eternal light. You are literally eternal love. That is what you are. You are the totality of the allness looking out from itself in a single pointed pinpoint of light, experiencing what is. Here you are, and here we are in a reflection, reminding you of what you already know, but think you've forgotten. And we're here holding the mirror up saying, here we are. Remember where you're going? We're reminding you, similar to how it is our beloved channel does articulate it well at sometimes as the growth happens within her. The transmutation that you begin to honor within yourselves. If you will honor that there is a death and rebirth, a death and a rebirth, and there is death and rebirth, and you stop running from your death and rebirths, that if you stop running from the idea of, I don't want to die, I need to be immortal, you forget all of that and you come into the center of your being. There is more peace there. And that is where the wisdom awakens. It is not outside of you. Yes, you are triggered. Yes, you are triggered to find it here within. That is what we are doing, but we are really, truly just a part of the totality of you. We are the mirror reflection of you in a future timeline coming to you to remind you of your totality. We have said from the very beginning, when we began with our beloved channel, that we said to her, to you, to the many who would come year after year after year after year, we are where you stand in the future. We are here reminding you of where you are in the future. The future is not a place and a time separate from what you are as totality. You are literally the allness. For some of our human friends, that means it's just too much. It's too much to fathom. So what you do is you set yourself on the path of awakening gradually, and the awakening gradually through not only a lifetime, but through many lifetimes. And you do that through your service to others to understand that you are the one. And we see that that is what is really now particularly being ramped up. Service to others means that you are actively engaging with the light of your own being, illuminating it willingly in an almost word, putting yourself out on display for others so that they may see, that's right, I can do that too. I get to be that too. If she can do it, if they can do it, if he can do it, I can do that too. I may not do it like them. And so everything gets triggered. Here's the word, triggered by what they are doing, which you won't want to do. So it triggers you, but then you find your way through the facts that they are doing what you want to be doing, meaning they are activating their light. They are activating their eternal willingness to be the soul's growth happening here now in this moment of the highest potential activation on the planet in what we will tell you is a, how should we say, the word. The cosmology is not the same. You have entered a new phase of awakening process on this planet as you would see it. And what we will tell you at this time too is that the ways in which you stand in your freedom, the way you stand in knowing that you were born into this physical body, that you chose to come to this physical experience to activate a higher love, a higher consciousness. Boy, does that trigger our friends. Some of our friends say, I don't want to do the love thing, Osira. I just need to pay my bills. I just need to make sure that my ex-husband doesn't get this or that, or my ex-wife doesn't do this or that, or my children go here or don't go there. We see it all, and we say we know. Those are the distractions that pull you away from the center of your being. And the center of your being has the knowing of what is the most important things. And when you come back to that, there is no anxiety. There is no fear. There is only the walk of the oneness moving through you as creation itself. You are activated at a higher light, at a higher heart, and a higher mind simultaneously. And the things, the way that you used to be so triggered, the things that you used to point the fingers at, the judgments of, the irrational feelings that would come onto you, dissolve and they dissipate, they change, they grow into the service that comes through you naturally. It's not that you have to do something to get something. It's that it naturally, organically evolves through you. You begin to look into the world and see, I've been that. I've been that. Oh, I've been like that. Ooh, I was just like that yesterday. How can I hold a new frequency and let that unwind and soften so that I remember that I am love? And can I make amends to that right now within myself, loving and forgiving myself, which means ultimately that if I love and forgive that within and without, I change the world. It is an acceleration. And many won't hear the same thing that we are saying the same way right now. You will hear this at a different level, each one of you activating a certain kind of code of awakening within you for you. We are not saying the same thing to each and every soul. That is why sometimes it even appears as if we're not quite streaming our words together exactly in the sentences that you might for, quote, proper English. But the reason we do that also is because you are the activity of the activation and you are igniting what it is that you need to hear in these moments. And we see that. You can't quite understand in this moment, we're not putting you down, but you cannot quite understand how it is that we are reaching more levels than what just sounds as if we are coming forward with words. We are activating the cellular codes, the consciousness codes, and the ways in which this sound frequency is activating to your eternal bodies of consciousness. You are moving yourself into a next level awareness just by listening in this moment. Now, what will occur is you will take this, and some of this will seem as if it's stuck, and some of it will seem as if it falls away. But we know absolutely, as so many of you actually do know, because you know us well and have walked this journey with us for many years, that this will ignite, and it does activate, and it will come back around, and then you will hear it again maybe, and then there will be something that lays in, and you will know that it is lit. This time is lit for you. The path is open. You are letting yourself move forward, if you will. You are letting yourself expand, if you will. You are opening to remember the truth of your being, if you will, that there is a divine orchestration happening here. You are the totality of consciousness activated as human beings in this physical world as your own soul's journey begins to awaken and evolve you to know that you are the one of all that is. Now, some of our human friends will say to us too that this is a bit too much and they can't quite make any sense of it. What we want to simplify, to come down here in this moment, bring the energies down one more time here and a very specific alignment, is we want to remind you of your breath. And we are wanting you to remind you of your breath. We are wanting to remind you of your breath. We are wanting to remind you of your breath. Your breath of life activates this physical electromagnetic chemical creation called the physical body that is electromagnetically plugged into the field all around you. Your breath deeply into your heart with the willingness to sit and recognize the field, to tap in, to come into harmony, to align with all that is, can bring you into a place and a space where you feel more peace and more calm for the divine design as it begins to unfold. So we are seeing and tracking the word intention for this being a container of what you would call the month of June. And we are recognizing that on your timeline, that there is energetically sort of what you would call setups to ignite movement forward. For some, this will entice. We're not certain if that's the correct word. Enlist, we'll say enlist. For some, that will enlist fear. What we are here to remind you of, dearest human beings, our friends, what we see as this next part of your journey is to hold to faith, to hold to the divine design, to hold to that there is no thing to fear, that all things are occurring as they will. And in your world, meaning your life experience, you can come right here and be safe. Come right back here and be safe. Come right here and be safe. Yes, decisions will be made. Yes, choices will be made. But having faith, coming back to love, holding the anchor to this planet called I am light, I am love, will activate the faith that will move you through this next specific activation of energies pushing you through a new time and space. One of the things we would say is from this day to the end of this time you would know as the month, you're going to change a lot. Allow it. We would say, allow it. Be kind to this one. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Slow down the vibration and allow yourself to come back to your center. Allow yourself to come back to some part of you that knows I am eternal. And no thing here actually threatens that. I am eternal. I am the eternal light. I am the eternal love. I am the eternal creation. I am consciousness, eternally evolving. I have taken up this body mind consciousness, to witness self as others in this creation, to see the oneness having its way with itself. And as I do that, I remember no harm come unto me. And meaning that that doesn't mean that maybe the physical body doesn't incur something, or it doesn't mean that some people won't pass on. We're not saying that, but we're not saying that that is wrong. We're saying that there is perfection in the order of the divine, and you are the divine. And the more you allow yourself to come back to that, the things of the things of the things that seem to make the problems happen become that much more igniting. And what becomes more exciting and more igniting is what is happening here. The ease, the grace, the miracles, the blessings, the good fortune, the abundance, the community, the communications, the miraculous that can unfold because you are a part of the miraculous creation. The more that you can align and see that, the more that that activity becomes you. The more that that activity becomes you, the more you realize there's nothing to get. And that I allow for the greatest version of this one that I am to step forward. When we are witnessing to see how it is that the world is changing and splitting into various parts of conversations, we recognize that those become the divisionary states. And what we would say is see it all. Just see it all. Oh, yes, this is happening. Oh, yes, this is happening. But do not attach. We will give you a little bit of guidance here. Do not attach yourself to this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. This is. And as these things become ignited, if you put your attention on them in a negative way, they grow. Their energies grow. If you put your intention on these other things that seem to be good, they grow. Energies grow. So we're reminding you that you have choice here, where you put your attention. We have always said it, we'll continue to say it, we'll always say it. You are human choosers. You have choice. You come in and you choose each and every day. Are you a victim of the circumstances of the creation that seems to be playing outside of you? Are you a victim of the creations that seem to be playing inside of you? Well, we would say, dear friends, take responsibility. Take radical responsibility. Recognize where you get the payoffs and open the door into an unlimited potential of your power, your empowerment, and your light. The ways of remembering the truth of your being, that you are not a small being of consciousness who is here to just eke out an existence, that you are born to be here to awaken to a greater consciousness while being in a physical body. That's the aim. The aim is to awaken while having this physical body so that when you decide to leave off this body, you know that you've done everything you could be to awaken in this physical body, because awakening happens to you and with you. You have chosen it. You have activated it. You have instilled it. You have inspired it. You have activated it in and around you. You have done what the highest is that was called unto you for this lifetime. And you are the one who knows that. You know it back behind. And we're reminding you, pull it forward, remember, pull it forward, remember, pull it forward, remember. Listen to your heart. Let the bridge of love unite this that is happening in here, which will then translate to naturally occurring out here. When you have conflict in here, you see it, feel it, experience, gravitate towards it out there. Meet every moment that you are experiencing seemingly outside of yourself with the observer who says, isn't this interesting? I get to experience this. And then choose personal responsibility, choose your response, because you are response able. So we are reminding you of very specific and significant things because you are going to be activated in this month. And we would say to you on a certain level, by the time you get from this day, June beginning, to the end of this particular month called June, you will be changed. Allow for it. Choose love, choose trust, and choose faith. When we give you these specific words, we are noting them. We are bringing them into the field, into the collective consciousness of all who are being able in this moment to listen, to hear, to activate, and consider that you are experiencing to take in those words so that they become a living light consciousness within your physical body, within your physical awareness, within your spiritual awareness, within your light body. All the levels of you become infused with the living light of those words. Trust, choose, have faith. You are changing and evolving. If you can embrace it, you will receive it in the higher ways and the easeful ways. That doesn't mean you don't have a breakdown. That doesn't mean you don't have your tears and you run the current of releasing the energy that would go out so that you can expand. Because if you go out with energy, you make room, you make spaciousness for more to come in. And some would say that right there is the simplest way to see death and rebirth. When you release in the healthy ways, those things that hold you back, tie you down, constrict you, make you angry, tight, and worried, you become relieved. You find the relief. The physical body becomes changed and you're not holding so much energy so tight. You are remembering you are at ease, and then you make space because you've released that valve and you're not holding to those things that would constrict you and muddy up the flow of the heart of love, the light of your being, and the consciousness that you are here to embody. This, we say, is an activation of mind, body, heart, and soul. This, we say, is the ways of remembering. It's just one way this day that we see that we wanted to create an actionable way in which the consciousness that we are can infuse into the field, the collective field, to create and remember that you are the magnets. You are the electromagnetic magnets of light holding energy onto this planet, and you have more power than you are remembering. Be a lighthouse. Remember, you are a way shower. Hold in here where you thrive and can remember that you are the most magnificent light of creation. That love is the word. That love is the offering. That love is the illumination of this time. And that in so doing, you change and create the ripple effect. You change and create the light to illuminate brighter. And those who feel it, know it, will pick up on it and do the same. You don't even ever have to speak a word unto them because you are plugging into that field and it is going out and about and around, and others are tuning into the same frequency. And those of you who know what we are speaking about, you'll practice. You'll do it every day. You'll meditate. You'll rise with the sun. You'll receive the light codes. You will let it transform you. You will allow your mitochondria to shift and change and open into the expansion of the ways in which the practices on this planet can assist the physical, emotional, human biosphere. We say to you, you are a part of all that is. We are standing with you. We are reminding. We are activating with you. We are here with you. We look forward to more. We bid you the most loving and magical and happy adieu. Hello, everyone. I'm going to have a little tea. Wow. Okay, so that was a lot. Hello, everyone. I'm just so grateful you're here. Thank you for hanging in and being with me live on that. You know, how are you? I mean, this is my first live in all these years. So I see you all and I'm just so happy. Thank you. Thank you, Northern Lights. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Blue Octopus. I love it all. Oh my God. I love you all. And I'm super grateful that you're here and how wonderful this is. This is making me feel very happy, very supported. And I'm feeling grateful to have been pushed, I guess you could say, to doing it this way, to doing it this way. So I want you to know that sometimes I've wanted to come back, to YouTube and do some new videos. And I guess this is my re-entry into just dive into the deep end, like they said somewhere along the way today, I think. Or maybe I said that, don't always know. And allow myself to just be seen again. I've been through, in the first 6 months of this year, I've been through a lot of changes, health issues as well. And so it took a lot to get through that transition for me. And I'm really looking forward to sharing with you what I'm changing now in my life, and things are moving. And then I'll just come back on here more often. If makes you happy and you guys want to see it, then I'm with you and we'll do it. So you can also, like I said, we can join the monthly Light the Way. I'm still doing sessions. I'm still doing mentorship, and some programs are coming out in the second half of the year. So I'm so excited about all that. So for now, we will continue. I mean, I really want to say how grateful I am to all of you for being here. Wow. Thank you so much. I really love it. Thank you, Beth. I will come on here more often. Thank you. So I'm going to pull a really wonderful card deck called White Light Oracle. The beautiful Alana gave to me. Thank you, Alana. And I'm going to call in the right card that we can be supported by. So everyone here that's live in this moment, and then I guess everyone who listens to the replay later, can be supported with the energy of this special card. Here's this part. Isn't that magnificent? Yes. And here is the card box. It's crazy how beautiful it is. And it is by Alana Fairchild. I love all of her stuff. I won't let the cat out of the bag yet, but stay tuned. There's so many good things coming from Grace, Osira, and the Divine Feminine. Okay, so for the month of June, for our collective group here, and anyone and everyone who is ready for holding, interesting, called Spirit of the Bear. Spirit of the Bear, 396 hertz, as in, there it is, okay. So let's read about that. I'm going to share this with you because not only is this just such an amazing book, but I feel like when we get these readings, they are meant for the people. I know that I sometimes will I just want to hear somebody's card pull. So I'll go on YouTube and do the same. We just had a powerful download. I know I can feel it now in my body. Whew. I hope you're, thank you, Blue Octopus. You're going to need a nap after this. Sometimes I do. I can't always sleep, but sometimes I get a little tired. Here we go. Spirit of the Bear. You are being healed from guilt and fear. Such emotions will no longer steal your personal power or dissuade you from confidence, happiness, and realizing your own truth. No matter how unlikely it may seem, you are going to emerge from a spiritual winter into light and life. The divinely ordained time for your liberation, healing, and emergence is much closer than you realize. Abundant blessings are stirring and shall soon manifest. The frequency of 396 hertz is deeply nurturing and protective. It is the heart frequency of the universal mother, protecting her young. Okay, whoa, come on, this is how it always works. It's insanely good. Oh my goodness. 396 is deeply nurturing and protective. It is the heart frequency of the universal mother, protecting her young, deflecting negativity, and refusing to overly condition the youthful mind. Wow. She looks out for them and provides warnings lest they wander too far from their authentic path. But she also encourages the child to learn who they are, to courageously explore their world, and to enjoy their freedom. Irrespective of our personal experience with our biological mother, the divine mother energy in the soul is loving, protective, available, and kind. This inner mother love enables us to develop our own sense of personal value, belonging, and home. In connection with the inner divine mother, we feel loved, wanted, and held. We know ourselves well enough to understand what we need, and we value ourselves enough to live in such a way that our needs are met. We recognize that we matter, not more than any other, but enough to feel self-love and self-respect. We can connect to our authentic life path because we feel worthy of it. This nurturing frequency heals the heart and softens the walls which keep love out due to past abandonment and betrayal. How perfect is this message that I feel that they absolutely just said all of this. When we are more open to life, the path to fruition becomes more accessible and direct. Oh my goodness, we have to hear that again. When we are more open to life, the path to fruition becomes more accessible and direct. When we connect with our authentic path, we can access the abundance of spiritual support available to us and make the most spiritual progress. That guidance may arise as a no, or as a not right now, or as a yes, and as a go for it. When we are in the heart, we clearly sense such guidance and take comfort in it rather than fight against it. As we let go of our defense systems, disabling fear and guilt from running our lives, and instead deal with them as occasional interloopers that need to be cleared and healed, we stop fearing we will never have what we genuinely want and need. We need to hear that again. I know we do. When we are in the heart, we will clearly sense such guidance and take comfort in it rather than fight against it. As we let go of our defense systems, disabling fear and guilt from running our lives, and instead deal with them as occasional interloopers that need to be cleared and healed, we stop fearing we will never have what we genuinely want and need. We realize we are loved, know how to love, and are naturally, innately beings of love. This frequency helps the body to ground. It helps the mind to settle in the body rather than constantly flitting from one possibility to the next, creating excitement, but also an excess of nervous energy. It helps the mind and body play nicely with each other, supporting each other rather than opposing each other. Then your mind won't be constantly haranguing your body, leaving it feeling bad about itself, tired or unhappy, or even angry and rebellious. In these and other ways, the 396 hertz frequency helps reconcile the push-pull of competing interests, integrating awareness in the heart and providing a clear pathway to a transcendent resolution where all is working for the one higher purpose. This frequency harmonizes beautifully with the spiritual medicine of the bear soul totem. It encourages our natural ability to find the sweetness in life necessary to sustain hope and heal our hearts. Spirit Bear connects us to the restorative powers of hibernation, the deep rest of body and mind. If you are highly strung and, like many modern people, find it hard to consciously relax your body and mind through spiritual practices, Spirit Bear brings the comfort and encouragement to allow your mind to rest within the body. It is as if the mind were in a cave for renewal, safe from predators and external forces, undisturbed and able to rest. This oracle urges you to go within, where there is tremendous healing force awakening. Give it the time and space it needs to do its best work for you. Wow. So there's a healing process. I just, how good was that? How perfect was that? Especially on the heels of what Osira's message was, which, just a reminder to the majority of you who may not know, but it's like a fleeting dream. I will get bits and pieces when I come out. I'll know the themes or something. I'll see some things visually with clairvoyance. I'll feel it in my body, but I don't remember the overall message. And definitely, like, by 15 minutes or an hour from now, I won't remember. I would need to rewatch it myself. But I am really, or re-listen, I'm really feeling that this was so perfect, so divinely orchestrated with them. And it says to find a place to lie down comfortably on your back with arms and legs spread slightly apart and head slightly elevated until your neck is comfortable. And it says, if you have a health condition which prevents you from lying down, seat yourself comfortably and say this prayer. I invoke the healing frequency of unconditional love and wisdom of the Divine Mother. May my body, mind, and soul be sheltered in a sanctuary of protective grace to fully relax and deeply heal. This is so perfect for us to go into the next month, right? Your spirit totem animal for the month of June, let it be the bear. Let the unconditional heart love frequency of the Divine Mother at 396 hertz support you. And remember this reading. That's a very powerful card. And as we're going to go through, June has the solar eclipse coming up, which we know next Thursday. It's supposed to be a very intense activation. So I find it to be perfect that not only this card was pulled, but everything I feel that I said before, and then everything that I feel that Osira was just boom to you, boom to us into the field, is what we're going to need to kind of hang on to for this month of June. When I was walking this morning, one of the things that I heard was unexpected surprises. And we could take those things sometimes and turn it into, oh no, I gotta armor myself. I gotta get prepared. I gotta, worry about that or something. And unexpected surprises, as they said to me, was like, okay, so if there's unexpected surprises, if there's lots of changes going on, if the energies are ramping up and we're about to go through another like shift through, like, in the, labor is like the waves of labor come, it's a real thing to move through that with as much slowness and ease and grace as we can, and trust ourselves and get into our hearts. And boy, that card really supports that. So I just want to, offer that and say that's wonderful. We're going to use that. We're going to remember that. And then I'm going to pull one more card. It won't be as long of a reading, but this will be from the Keepers of the Light, one of my other favorite decks. And I'm just going to pull one quickly here. Divine Alchemy, and she's right on the cover. Holy Amethyst. Divine Alchemy. Let me find that book. Here it is. Here she is, Holy Amethyst. Holy Amethyst is the twin flame of Archangel Zedekiel, the angel who helps us transmute negative experiences into love and learning. He is the keeper of the violet flame, which helps us release anything that is no longer serving us. Holy Amethyst also enables us to look over our past fears and challenges and draw wisdom and learning from them. Unlike Zedekiel, for many years, she was not mentioned in spiritual texts and was believed because I believe this was because her miraculous support wasn't needed on earth as it is now. To connect deeply with her light, hold her namesake crystal, which would be amethyst. And the message is, you are ready to move beyond energies or situations that are no longer helpful to you and to make space in your life for something more purposeful. You may feel a need for clearing out, not just mentally, emotionally, but physically too. There is a sense that you are moving beyond challenges and forging golden opportunities from stagnant or unhappy experiences. It's important to recognize that you are like a magician at this time, with the ability to use your thoughts, will, and actions to bring about life-fulfilling and dream-enhancing opportunities. It's important to focus on what you desire and not what you fear, because what you give your energy to will literally begin to flourish. Call on Holy Amethyst to help you focus on golden opportunities. Oh, God, I just get so excited when it's just so ridiculously perfect, right? Yes. So there we go. I keep looking down. Sorry about that. This is so good. So let's see what you're all saying here. Oh, thank you, Beth. Thank you so much for your sweet comments. And yeah, I agree. No fear, guidance comes from the heart within. Yes, me too. I'm excited about this month of June's. I feel that this transmission, everything that was shared, for all of you who are here, thank you. I just want to really acknowledge you. I'm looking at all of your names, and I know many, many of you, and I just really appreciate your presence. And for those of you who are new to me, I thank you for joining us. And for all of you who are here, just thank you so much, because this is a powerful, energetic portal, like I said, that we are in. I feel it very strongly. My life is very much these two cards as well. There's a lot of change that I'm about to go through. So you can always hold me in your good prayers. Moving and changing and big life shifts. And it's exciting, and it's a lot, right? So sometimes just being human in and of itself is a lot. And when I get that overwhelm, I really retreat. I go within. I go in so I can alchemize, which is there. The alchemy was right there. So I can alchemize all the things, so I can be holding my energy as best I can. Sometimes I feel like crazy because these energies are really, really, really intense. For those of you who are sensitive and who are, keying in, just remember that you can bring yourself back to yourself, and you don't have to plug into all that intensity. You can bring yourself into your own, safety in your own place within. And like the card of the Spirit Bear in 396 says, call in the Divine Mother for the safety and the love and the protection, to know that we're okay, that all things are coming through this experience to change and evolve us, and that we're, going to be okay. And I don't mean to sound like, oh my gosh, you're all going through the same thing I'm going through. This is just like a free floating thing, right? And the world is changing right before our eyes. We see it every day. And I personally I don't plug in all too much to the things that feel like it just sucks my energy, because I am ultra sensitive. I am plugged into the field, even without looking at Facebook or the news, which I never look at the news. But I mean, without plugging into the field physically and reading or seeing what other people are doing or whatever, I'm already feeling it. I'm already plugging in. I'm already seeing things while I sleep or having visions when I'm in meditation. It's pretty intense. So protecting my energies is really important. And I want to remind you of that, not because you have to steel yourself against the world, but because you are taking responsibility for how you feel, what you're emanating, what you're connecting to, what you're growing, in the world. So I think that was part of the whole thing that Osiris said. And I just thank you for coming on. Thank you for bringing us together. You said, thanks, Beth. But, thank you for all joining me here right now. I'm very, very grateful. It was really, really fun. And I love seeing you here. And if you like it, comment, and we'll do this more often. And if you want to join us in our monthly group, we're going to figure out what the heck went on with the webinar software. And maybe it was just Osira wanting me to do this like this, because I was willing today. So I send you all so much love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Beth. Thank you, everyone. I really, really love it. Thank you. This was wonderful. And you can always reach out to me on email. You can always type some comments down below. I'll respond. And I appreciate you. And let's keep evolving this and holding the light for feeling the growth and the connection with each other, even if we aren't physically seeing each other, or if we can, let's do it. So there is no accidents, right? I absolutely love you. I appreciate you. Hang in there. Let's do this, right? Let's do the month of June with the highest intention for good, with the most fun that we can have, with the remembering of the truth that we are. And if you like this and you want to do more of this with me, let me know, because sometimes, we need to be inspired to do fun things like this. So I appreciate you all for staying and hanging in here. I send you so much love, light and love. And it's not just a quirky or a stupid or a overused thing. It is real. It's the real deal. Yeah. So I send you love, and I send you lots of light. Hold it, anchor it. Remember, that's what you are. And I'll see you and talk to you soon. Bye now. Bye.